Hello, this is Shane Johnston, Director of Jefferson County Schools. Wanted to reach out this week with some important updates and reminders as we approach reopening of school for the 2020-2021 school year. First of all, as of today, Tuesday, July 28th, 2020, our teachers have returned to school buildings, and over the next 8 days, we'll spend time preparing for your child. Whether that's a distance learning setting or a traditional in-person learning experience, our teachers and staff and administrative teams are working hard to get ready between now and the first full day of school, which will be Friday, August the 7th, 2020. So during this time, we also want to encourage you to check our webpage and our social media sites. We have prepared some FAQs that are presently uploaded on those sites where you can get information of all the questions that we have been receiving and those answers. Now, we will update this as well. Specifically on Monday night, July 27th, we updated 4 of those FAQs. One dealt with traditional learning. While traditional learning will be very similar to previous years with the extra safety protocols in place, we encourage you to read those and ask some questions. One section in the traditional learning even begins to answer the questions: what happens if someone in my child's class gets sick, or the teacher of my child gets sick, or is diagnosed or exposed to someone that has tested positive for COVID-19. We will have protocols and already have those developed, and you will find those not only online, but they will be readily updated over the next few days and in the coming weeks. So there is a situation where even a traditional learning student may have to, under state health department guidelines, be isolated or quarantined for a certain number of days, and there is a plan in place that will transition that person to distance learning while maintaining their current teacher. Again, read that FAQ on traditional learning. It answers many of the questions that were being asked, and then if you have additional questions, make sure you email us at reopening@jcboe.net. The second FAQ that's available online deals with distance learning. It deals with parent expectations and lots of questions we're getting. How will I get my device? How will I be trained? When will those type things happen? There's lots of questions on that. It's about 4 pages of just questions and answers that we've been receiving, and we've received positive feedback since that was posted, specifically addressing the questions that many people are having. So again, read that about distance learning. And then also feel free to reach back out to us. Now, there is the question: we begin distance learning and we want to then transition back. As a general rule, we're going to work with anyone and everyone to help families make a smooth transition as possible. If you have signed up to be a distance learner, the anticipation is that if you're starting the year, you're at least anticipating being there 9 weeks or a semester or those things. But if your home situation changes, your parents' work situation changes, and you need to transition back, we will work to get you back on a normal, traditional, in-person schedule and roster just as quickly as possible. But if possible, we would ask that we make those transitions during natural breaks, such as 4.5 weeks, 9 weeks, or again at the semester. But again, we will be as family friendly as possible. A third FAQ that was posted deals with safety protocols. We have prevention measures that are listed. We also have how we're going to handle. There is those exposed or tested positive for COVID-19. We also have a point of contact. That's one person in the district that each school building will be reaching out to when there is the chance of exposure, or if it's been reported that someone has tested positive or has been diagnosed with COVID-19. So that point of contact will be our liaison with the Tennessee Department of Health and the local health department. They will identify the immediate close contacts, and again, a close contact is defined as someone that has been 6 feet away or closer for 10 minutes or more. That is the definition that the health department has given us to use. Those close contacts will be appropriately notified, and the families of those, and then given appropriate guidance based on health department regulations, whether that is to isolate or to quarantine, and the number of days that is required. So again, I would encourage everyone to read that FAQ associated with safety protocols and our health updates as well. A fourth FAQ that was listed also deals with food services and nutrition. How will breakfast be served? Where will we be eating? And those kind of things. Take a look at that one, and it will provide some updated information. There's even 1 or 2 questions that deal with how we're going to collect money so that it can touch as few hands as possible and avoid contamination in that way. And of course, we have an online ability to pay as well. But just read that FAQ, and then we'll continue to provide updated information. So one thing we want to stress to parents: while we are a people-friendly business, school should always be about families and students and their loved ones. We are not allowing visitors and family members to come eat with students during these first few weeks of school. school. Sure, it is our hope that we can lessen that restriction as the year progresses on, but initially we are not allowing that, so that we can kind of, once we have everyone in the building, we can regulate who's in the building and the physical and safety environment that is around. One question that we have been getting for a number of days now deals with masks. As you know, last week it was announced that employees in school buildings and students in grades 6 through 12 would be expected to have masks. Now, in recent days, even since that announcement on Thursday, July 23rd, the Tennessee Department of Health specifically issued guidance for safe reopening of schools and said students and staff should have on masks. We understand that there are many people that fall on all sorts of philosophies and opinions on this issue. As we lean on the health department for guidance, we will revisit this issue and provide updates. One thing, parents, I would like you to know about is we are not suggesting that students would be in that mask 7 or 8 hours without a stop in that. So we have specifically instructed our staff members that we're in mask in high traffic areas, hallways, class changes, cafeteria, obviously when you're not eating, and those type things. We're not talking about when they're in a classroom and can socially distance. Then of course we expect them to be able to ease the mask down and to not have that up over them. But there are also times in class settings where they have to work in groups, and during those type things we would encourage and ask that those masks still be in place. So it is not just a recommendation in grades 6 through 12, it is the expectation, and basically it'll be treated like an extension of the dress code in that sense, that it's just a safety equipment that we're going to need everybody to be in. Again, as the health department gives us updated guidance, we are looking forward to providing you with that updated guidance. Additional times that students, when they're outside, if you have a PE class that goes outside and walking around the track, clearly outside and during PE type activities or strenuous, rigorous activity and cardiovascular work, we're not going to expect students to remain in a mask. Now, I do want parents to know that later this week, I will be meeting with local health officials of the Jefferson County Health Board, and then also we'll be meeting with other medical officials that will be part of that meeting. And during that meeting, I'm going to be reviewing all of these type of things that I'm sharing with you for their guidance and medical expertise to be shared with any recommendations. We recommend that you continue to do this. This will need to be looked at, maybe altered as well. So again, we are all about our student safety, our employee safety, but we understand and appreciate and respect the differences in opinion on some of these issues, and we'll do our best to keep everyone as safe as possible. It is still highly recommended that on a bus that students wear a mask. We are going to implement some safety measures on the bus. One additional thing since the last time I shared with you is we're going to load the buses from back to front, and we will unload from front to back. That way no student has to come by another student. We've already announced as much as possible we'll skip seats when we can, and we want siblings and same household family members to sit on the same seat. But again, we cannot guarantee social distancing on school buses, so as much as possible, if you do have the ability to bring your child to school and pick them up, we recommend that if at all possible. So we also want to make just a comment about other things going on in our region. I know many other districts are all making different decisions to either extend the school day or delay the start of school and those things. We respect every district's opinion, but every district has different needs, and not all the districts are delaying or postponing the start of school based on health issues. It is one factor, I'm sure, but it also deals with the difficulty in managing schedules. It could be that we've had more people sign up, or those districts have had more people sign up for distance learning than anticipated, and they're having to adjust. It could be they're awaiting technology. And all of those factors. So we are looking at all of that. We are ready to have in-person school, and we are ready to address our distance learning. As we put in the FAQ, it could be that we get distance learners in initially. If we are waiting on a few devices, it could be that we begin with some other forms of instruction, but we're ready to instruct your child and give them a high-quality educational experience, either in person or distance learning. However, we understand that there will be some hiccups along the way. We will address those and just as quickly as possible, and we will meet the needs of our students throughout this year. We're committed to that. We have great teachers, we have great schools, we have great administrators, and we're committed to helping your child. So as we look on those things, we just want you to know that we take reopening very serious. But as we also have pondered what to do, we have a school board that is wonderful, and they are doing a great job of staying up to date with the information that I provide them on these things as well, and we appreciate their work during this time. So I will be back next week to provide one final weekly update prior to the official start of students coming back. And as we look on all of these issues, if there's a need to provide an additional update between now and then, we will use our parent notification system, and then we will also present another video as well. I would ask you to look in the next coming day or two. We're going to provide additional FAQs specifically on transportation services. We want you to have kind of a flow chart or a Q&A on exactly what happens in a simplified version of if someone tests positive, who will be notified, the timeline, and some of those kind of things. And then also we would want to provide an FAQ on just simply some miscellaneous type questions involving anything else that's not covered in some of the other things. So we appreciate your flexibility. We appreciate your support and look forward to having a great 2020-2021 school year in Jefferson County. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day.